Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Good morning. Welcome to Mornings at the Cabin. It's Friday morning. Ollie and Wheeler are with you, and we're just setting up the cabin for today's activities. Bring a blanket. It's still a little cold outside, but it's a damn sight warmer than it was the last few days. Only minus 19 right now with a nice little blanket of snow out there. It's quite fresh. It's quite lovely, and seems almost appropriate.
Don't get too cozy, though. This morning's show brought to you by the Walk To Tuk.
Yes.
We are teaming up with the NWT Rec and Parks Association. We will have a team this year. This is the event where you form a team and walk the equivalent of the distance of the Mackenzie River all the way from the lake to Tuktoyaktuk.
We'll crack it out in an afternoon.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of enthusiasm that'll get us through Friday.
1,600 kilometers or something like that?
Yeah,
1 hour
already.
1 hour of physical
stretch.
action. Well, here's the thing, though. So, like, if you got a dog, it's a lot easier. 1 hour equals 5 kilometers. Or if you walk 10 kilometers in an hour, then you get 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
But you and I, with the Life Change program, we're going to be doing an hour of that. So that's 5 kilometers. It's going to feel like way more.
Do we get to count that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think isn't it any physical activity for an hour is 5K or something like that, isn't it?
Killing two birds with one stone.
Yes.
Well, that's exciting.
Are we the birds?
We will feel a lot like the birds.
Yeah, and the stones will just be every exercise he's throwing at us. How are you feeling about this, Venom?
Well, I was feeling good. The last 15 seconds just changed that slightly.
It's going to be wonderful. We're going to feel great after, but in the moment, it's going to feel like sheer hell.
It's going to feel like hell. I'd like to exercise alone when nobody can see me suffer.
Absolutely.
And thought of you being able to see every last...
I won't be paying attention to you. I'll be paying attention to my heart rate.
Okay.
All right.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
You are wearing some swag, and there's some merch around the office. Some really adorable merch.
Adorable.
It is. I mean,
Okay.
that little action figure's pretty adorable.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And the hat you're wearing right now, this is your sister's
Yeah,
stuff.
not cabin radio merch.
No, this is different merch that you're wearing. It's pretty cool though. And
Yeah.
this is I don't know how many people know that your sister is like a professional wrestler.
I think we've mentioned it once or twice.
Wait, that's what the little action figure
That's
is?
what that little action
that's
figure
her.
is. Yeah, that's my sister.
That's incredible.
That's so cool.
I saw that yesterday. It was like, what's that doing there? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And this is her Demon Bunny branded toque.
Yes.
Is your sister known as the Demon Bunny
She's
in the ring?
she's the demon. Her tag team partner is the bunny.
Oh,
that's
so
Her
together-
sometimes adversary, sometimes friend.
Yeah.
It's a very complicated relationship.
Wow.
Well, very complicated.
Tell us more. So
Yeah, what's the promotion's name?
The promotion is Impact Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty high up promotion.
Yeah, I mean, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
It was about, I think, the early 2000s it came about. And they've had, like, some big stars there for a while. It was kind of WWE and Impact Wrestling was going back and forth after WCW was bought up. But we don't want to get too deep into this. But
Bischoff. Eric Bischoff.
But it did have a pretty good heyday where it was kind of like right there with WWE. It's a lower budget tier now than WWE because WWE just rules the entire world now.
Crushes everything.
And nobody questions it.
That's right.
But yeah, no, it's still a pretty good promotion. It's actually bigger in the UK than it is in North America for whatever reason.
Because the UK gets just tired of North America's crap.
Probably, yeah.
Right? So they're like, WWE, no.
Yeah.
We're going to support these independent promotions. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
She's been doing that for a long time. How long has she been doing
that? She's been wrestling for it's got to be about 10 years now.
Wow.
I guess, yeah. I think that was when she first kind of made the decision to take off to Windsor. Southern Ontario is a hub for independent pro wrestling, and it's really like a breeding ground. That's where there's several really good high-profile pro wrestling schools there. So if you're listening and you have dreams of being a pro wrestler,
Windsor,
Southern Ontario, that's where you want to go.
So where does that circuit...
if Des is listening, Des, that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
So where does that circuit take her?
So basically, she started. So there's a lot of there's more than a few independent promotions in Southern Ontario. There are like speckled throughout, the rest of North America too. There's nothing up here, but in Manitoba, there's a couple like small ones. I imagine in Saskatchewan and BC and Alberta, the same thing. But in Southern Ontario, because it's so concentrated, you can actually have a promotion, an independent promotion circuit where they have promotions that go. One weekend it's in whatever suburb of Barrie, Ontario. The next weekend it's in some suburb that's like half an hour away, right? So you actually do have like a circuit, and people who go to these shows just, spend like $20 on a ticket or something. Have a night of wrestling entertaining them, and they actually follow it pretty consistently because it's, not a ridiculous drive away to every different show each weekend. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the Demon and the Bunny.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who are their mortal enemies in all this?
Who are their mortal enemies?
The farmer and the angel.
I suppose anyone who should get in their way.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
You can't pick your enemies too carefully because anyone could just pop out from around the corner. That's the nature of pro wrestling.
I was gonna say,
He'll just bounce out of the hallway, hit you with a chair.
Here's a man who knows how to script some wrestling.
That's right.
That's
right. And you've both got pretty good mic skills, too.
Well, I'm getting there.
I thought you were just going to go,
what?
That's so cool. I know you and I have talked about this before. She's been doing it for 10 years. That's an incredibly hard job.
Yeah.
Like, that's an incredibly hard thing to do, to try to make money, try to make a living. She's living in Orlando now.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So they do that circuit around Florida, around like the southeast.
Well, that's where Impact Wrestling does 90% of their show tapings at Universal Studios.
Oh!
Yeah.
The land of dreams.
Exactly.
Right on.
So it just made sense once she signed a contract with them permanently to move down there.
So when we all go to Florida, we get free tickets to Universal Studios?
I'm thinking so.
Boom!
Yeah.
And when is she coming to Yellowknife to teach us some moves?
I don't know. We still got to hook that up.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Part of the reason she moved to Orlando, she also really hates cold weather.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
So
that's fair enough.
She hasn't come up to visit me yet, but she's also in an industry where she has to be available pretty much at all times. So,
all right.
Makes it tough, but I think we can hook something up.
Demon and the Bunny, Impact Wrestling. We're going to put that little action figure on the gram, I think. That thing's pretty awesome.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, it was early. What do you want from us?
In the Fraser Valley every year, this is really cool, actually. This has kind of popped up on the Facebook feed. In the Fraser Valley every year, like tens of thousands of eagles, bald eagles, descend upon the Fraser Valley to feast on salmon, right?
Right.
Dying salmon, or just, there's a congregation of these eagles. And in Harrison River, there's about 7,000, but throughout the Fraser Valley, about 30,000 eagles descend on it.
Wow.
So there's a video that's kind of circulating on Facebook. It's just really cool to watch. Like, that's that many eagles. Like, every time I see a bald eagle in Yellowknife, there's a couple that nest by Long Lake. And every time I see one, I'll always stop. I always stop and watch just one. I can't imagine seeing 30,000 or 1,000 of them.
So that's obviously a lot of eagles in one area.
Yes.
What are the accommodations like? Is there some kind of like Hotel California they could stay in, or some other kind of lovely place?
On a dark desert highway is where that joke belongs.
Oh, this is desperate.
Cool wind in their hair. Eagles love coolitas.
One of these nights, you got to make sure you're prepared for that kind of swell of population.
Wow. Keep going.
Well, because if you don't, you're never going to have a peaceful, easy feeling inside. It's just.
Go ahead.
Take it easy, Jesse. All right, I'm done. Continue.
So good. That would be pretty amazing to see. I did see, when I was living in BC, I was working for a junk removal company as a struggling actor.
Right.
And at one point, we were down in Delta, which is the very southern tip below, like south of Richmond, near the ocean. And at the transfer station there, which is what they call a dump, there were just like dozens of eagles feasting on, like basically.
Who takes eagles to a dump?
Well, they weren't returning them, Ollie. That's just where they ate. But it was interesting to see, because obviously you go to the dump here and it's ravens and seagulls, and then you go to the dump in Delta and it's beautiful bald eagles just eating garbage.
Huh.
Just eating garbage. I did see one take down a seagull though. That was pretty cool.
Oh wow!
It just kind of soared in. Seagull's just doing its thing. It's just out of nowhere. Eagle just gunk and flies off with it. You're like, oh, bye seagull.
Life in the fast lane.
In the.
Jeez.
I'm done.
Any more of this and we're going to have a heartache tonight.
Oh, he's gone. He's actually gone.
So good. This is going to be a heartache tonight. I know. Anyway, if you find that on your newsfeed, check it out. The video is pretty spectacular. Bald eagles, lovely to watch. Thank you, Scott.
No problem.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
This mornings at the Cabin, brought to you by Walk To Tuk, from form a team and walk the equivalent of the Mackenzie River for a healthy 2019. Sign up now at nwtrpa.org.
The Cabin radio team.
That's right.
Is signed up.
We are signed up. How many of us are there?
Just me right now.
Just you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I got to add.
Have fun.
I don't know who else wanted to be on the team.
Well, we all want to be on the team.
Do you want to be on the team?
Of course. We were just talking
okay.
about it earlier. Like we're going to be doing the life change thing. An hour of physical activity is 5 clicks, right?
Well, right. I didn't know if you wanted to do too much. I don't want to stack too much on you guys at once.
All right.
Okay.
No, I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
in.
All right.
We're definitely
Okay.
in.
Yeah.
There are so far
Yeah.
294 teams
What?
signed up.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Holy.
Now, bearing in
That's-
mind there are 40,000 people in the territory, 294 teams, 3,483 people.
Wow.
Like, that
that
may be
Is that the biggest? That's
the
gotta be-
most participated. I don't know, but it must be like, I can't think of any more events. I mean, we barely get enough people, like that many people to vote in elections
That's right.
in this territory. Never mind, actually, yeah, this is fantastic. There are only 5 communities in the territory that don't have a team.
Wow. Good Lord.
What are those 5 communities?
Yeah,
Can we
Those five
shame them
communities,
right
we
now?
will shame them on the air. Why not?
Shame them on the air.
Fort Good Hope, Caladici First Nation, Kakisa, Sax Harbor, and Wrigley.
Shame.
I mean, Sax Harbor, you
Shame.
sort of feel like,
Shame.
okay. Like that,
Been
that's
watching Game of
maybe
Thrones.
that's a tough one. That is impressive, though. So
That's
28
incredible.
communities,
That's
and they're
incredible.
looking at, 3,500 people. If you're listening to this, you haven't signed up for a team yet, you're like one of 3 people. You can get on board by signing up at nwtrpa.org anytime till Monday.
Indeed.
Monday is the deadline to get involved.
Okay.
Also, the first day that you can start logging your activity. as
Okay,
well.
I thought that's what I was going to ask, because I was thinking that maybe you were able to start logging them on the 1st.
You could start, like, I guess keeping them to yourself, but it started as of January 2nd. So
Yeah.
you could
But so
log
the
stuff that
first
you've
day
done
is the
up
first
until
day you
then.
can input the
What
information.
good would that do?
You just keep it to yourself,
keep it
all
to
right?
yourself, all right?
Don't
I've been-
shame the rest of
I've
us.
been walking 10 kilometers a day. I've been banking these things.
Yeah, no one cares, Jesse.
I
Keep
know.
it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself.
Next.
Now, starting Monday, you can blather about it all you want.
Yes.
That's a huge group of people. The
That's
only
amazing.
2 bigger groups are UNW employees and GNWT employees, and possibly
And they may be doing a lot of walking over the next few months.
Oh, yeah, log all
Walk
of
Walk
to
To
Tuk
Tuk is
buildings.
going to be
All that
easy
picket
peasy.
time? Yeah.
Oh, this is not funny to joke about. And I think so. Yeah. So GNWT employees, UNW representatives, Walk To Tuk people, and then I think photographers. Those are the biggest 4 groups.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm rolling dice over here.
That was
Is
a
that-
puzzle
What
falling
are you
apart.
doing?
I'm trying to put together a puzzle with my left hand, and that's it. So every time I
If you can't hear this noise in the background, there is
Every
definitely
time
the noise in the studio.
every
It's just
time I mess up.
rummaging. Behave. This is why we need to get you outside.
it's true.
like-
It's true. I'm all pent up. I don't know what to do.
Trying to multitask.
That's right. I'm going to start chewing on
What are you
socks
doing?
and peeing in a corner soon.
The drywall over there is just going to have a hole in it one morning, and I'm just going to look over here. And just be like,
Who
foaming
can
at the
forget
mouth.
Dear Rat Boy? Walk To Tuk starts on Monday. Sign up at nwtrpa.org for a healthy
Deadline
start
Monday.
to 2019. Oh, it's the deadline Monday, and you can start
Deadline's
logging
Monday.
on Monday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So the deadline and log day, same day.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got to,
Which is exactly what I said.
sure. So you got the whole weekend. Go find a team. Get registered. If you want to join the Cabin Radio team, I'm sure we can
Absolutely.
facilitate that
As
as well.
many people as we can.
Yeah.
You can have up to 20 participants per team.
Oh, okay. There's a cap.
Yeah.
I was going to get like
Otherwise-
100 people and then just
Yeah.
do like one walk.
A kilometer each.
I did my one walk of the month and a half.
I'm fine. Everything's great. What if? I mean, it's grown so much. That's very cool. How many? How many participants?
3,500 people.
3,500 people. participated.
Amazing.
Very cool.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Wheeler and Lekter with you on your Friday morning, brought to you by the Walk To Tuk. Form a team and walk the equivalent of the Mackenzie River for a healthy start to 2019. Sign up now online at nwtrpa.org. The deadline to sign up your team is Monday, and that is also when you can start logging your miles. And we're going to start logging them.
And if you've been accumulating since January 2nd, then yes, definitely get those miles
that's
in.
cheating.
Kilometers.
That's cheating. Kilometers, yeah. I say miles.
Come on.
I'm an American. A nifty little post on Facebook. This is something that like the museum has done, also the new hospital is doing, but it's just kind of cool. Explorer's doing it too. Some nifty LED lights up at the top of the roof there, looking like Northern Lights.
Yeah.
I like that.
We're
really tripling and quadrupling down on this thing, aren't we?
We are. I've enjoyed my walks to work in the dark in the morning and seeing at the end of 51st Street that the nice glowing lights there on I guess that would be on the museum that I'm seeing. Yeah. It's nice.
It is.
Make you walk towards the lights, but not too close.
Yeah, not too close.
Just take a hard right into cabin radio.
That's right. I mean, just a really nice expansion there on the Explorer Hotel, and there's some nice features. I like that. I mean, like I said, we are really doubling down on this Northern Lights thing.
You know, it's really nice when you have those attractions that you don't necessarily have to do anything for.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Yeah. Just look up. Oh, what do you know?
About as consistent as whale watching. It's like, you win some, you lose some, guys. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, in that you don't see the lights sometimes. Right?
That's true.
And if you go whale watching off the coast of Vancouver, there's about a 90% chance you don't see any whales.
It's almost useless.
Yeah.
Well,
everyone goes.
Last year, Ollie and I were talking about this a few weeks back. Last year, there was only, I think, 3 nights where you couldn't see Northern Lights. Last year.
Depending on where you are.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, like here. Apparently. Like in the north. That's what he said.
Really?
I listen to Ollie when he says stuff.
I mean, that's fair.
Like in the winter. I mean, like you can't see them in the summertime, obviously.
Right.
But they're always there.
But what about when it's cloudy?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, they're always there, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Only 3 nights when it was cloudy enough that you couldn't see them.
That's right.
That's okay.
I mean, depending
depending
on where you are. I mean, if you're here right under where we are, yeah, maybe not. But if you drive,
if you're on an Aurora
60
tour,
kilometers outside of town,
yeah, you're going out to like Pontoon Lake or something like that.
Well, that's
I don't
not
know where
60 kilometers outside of town.
No, it's not.
Tibbet Lake is.
Okay,
but
I don't think they go all the way there.
But they should.
Okay, maybe we'll pass that along to them.
Absolutely.
Only 3 nights. Apparently, that's incredible.
I don't know if that's true. It's something Ollie said.
Ollie said it. Let's just believe it.
That's right. It's that accent that makes you just like, oh, really? Wow. Yeah. He could be.
I believe that.
He could be a despot if he wanted to. He could rule the hearts of men and women.
Doesn't he already?
I'm blushing. Stop it. So that's pretty cool. So go check that out. I mean, it's still incredibly dark outside, so they're probably flashing right now.
Yeah.
They got to attract business.
Don't go to work. Just drive out. Head out the Ingram Trail.
That's
check out some lights.
You have our permission today not to go to work.
Yeah.
I know we just had a Christmas break, but this Friday, don't go to work. It's fine.
Hopefully this isn't one of those 3 days.
We'll call your boss. Yeah. We'll just call them up and say, hey, listen, they're not coming in. They're going to check out the lights.
Yes. It's majestic.
And the sun will be up in like half an hour. But they'll miss those. Go check those out at the Explorer, obviously on the museum as well. And then the new hospital will have that as well, which is nice.
Which is looking nice.
Cabin Radio's morning show podcast. All the best chat, none of the embarrassing mistakes.
So this was another interesting one. This is terrifying, but also funny. That's not funny. I don't know that it's funny. Anyway,
that's generally our favorite topic.
Police in California are hunting for a man caught on camera vigorously licking a family's doorbell for the... That's weird, right? So
pretty weird.
They've got a motion sensor camera on the outside of their house, like so many Americans do. Like you can go down a YouTube a wormhole of people and their security cam footage outside their homes. So they have one of those outside their houses, motion sensor activated.
Yeah.
So it's recording this guy, and not only is it weird that he was licking their doorbell, weird and terrifying. For 3 hours, he was doing it for 3 hours. So they're looking for this guy. Vigorously is the word, and he stares directly into the camera because he knows he's on camera. He looks directly in it, and then goes right to the doorbell, and he's just like blah, 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 blah,
right,
and just goes nuts on it. And he changes positions a couple times. I mean, he's there for 3 hours. Your tongue's got to get so raw after that.
Did you hear this story that Jay Bear was hosting Home to the Cabin? I think it was on Monday when he was doing it. He did a story about a guy who basically went on a rampage at an airport, but just like a rampage of silliness.
Oh, yeah.
He got removed from a flight. I can't remember why he got removed, but he was asked to leave the flight because I guess he was making a commotion or something about wanting to be in first class. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he got removed from the flight and ended up sneaking back onto the tarmac and somehow got into one of those bag carrier things and was just driving it around for fun, just going on a little joyride.
That's terrifying.
It's not recommended. It's not a good idea.
Not recommended. We do not recommend that you do this. That is terrifying.
And apparently his reasoning was that he was on crystal meth.
Well, I mean, hey.
And this sounds
a lot like that.
A guy licking a doorbell for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I gotta say, sounds a bit similar.
Here's the cherry time. So they're looking for this guy. He licked their doorbell for 3 hours before relieving himself in the front yard.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
Well, it was a while. Right?
I mean, well, he says, it's been a long time.
Need a break.
He had something to drink because he's like, my mouth is getting dry. I've been licking this doorbell. I don't know when these people are going to answer their door. I'm just here for polling information.
He's just confused. Like this is how you do this, right?
This is how you do this.
You give it a lick.
You're being romantic. Yeah. I watched a bunch of 80s movies. I know that this is what women like, right? Because in 80s movies, weren't you allowed to just basically do any kind of stocky terroristic thing and it was romantic?
It's what we were all led to believe. Yeah. I think. Yeah.
I was led to believe it so hard that I've actually thrown rocks at a girl's window. That I was dating. I was dating her at the time. It wasn't like I was like, oh, you don't know me, but hi. No, I was dating her at the time, and I snuck out at 2 a.m. and it was not good. She did not appreciate it.
You were not dating after that incident?
No, we dated for like a week after that. It was great.
You didn't bring the boombox?
No, I didn't bring the boombox.
Start playing whatever. No. I don't know.
It's not
Whitney Houston.
It was not my proudest moment, and she was not happy about it.
Yeah, no doubt.
She was not happy about it. Mostly because she thought I'd wake up her parents.
Uh-huh.
She actually said that she was like, it's kind of romantic, but like I could have gotten in trouble.
It's kind of romantic, I guess.
But it was 2 a.m. and you were drunk and I was like guilty as charged.
How hard did you have to convince her that was romantic? No, it's romantic. I swear. That was how I intended it.
I have made mistakes in my life. So it's weird. It's gross. And it's a little terrifying. Like, I wouldn't want that happening to my house.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't think anyone does.
No, absolutely not. And I'm not sure what I would do if I found that happening outside.
Probably not open the door.
I probably wouldn't open the door, but I'd exercise my rights as a person who has property. I don't have property.
To call the police?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. I would call the police.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't do anything.
That would be my first thought.
That's right. It's just an election after all.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca.